Welcome to Kemma's Never Seen It. I'm Kemma, and today the movie we're going to be talking about is Rye Lane. In the spirit of February and everything that is love, I wore one of my favorite shirts. Bella, where the hell have you been, loca? It's very fitting. I love this shirt a lot. It's very, very fitting. I love this shirt so much. You guys have no idea. And I love wearing it out in public because I either get stares like, what does that mean? Or people who know what it is and don't say anything. Or people who know what it is and are just like, I like that. But anyway, on to the movie. This is a movie that was actually recommended to me off of TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, I Kemma's Never Seen It, go and do that. And I just needed a little help with, again, more Black rom-coms or Black love movies. So I took a look at this one. Before we get started into the review and recap of this movie, let's go ahead and see what this movie is about based on the DVD cover summary. Yaz and Dom, two 20-somethings both reeling from bad breakups, connect over the course of an eventful day in South London, helping each other deal with their nightmare exes and potentially restoring their faith in romance. Like I said before, I do not look up the movies before I watch them. I don't read about them. I simply just go off of your guys' requests or any movies I've heard of and watch them. So I had no idea that this was a movie that was from London. I don't do a very good British accent, so I'm not going to try. But I will tell you that some British lingo I genuinely love. Pang, suck your mum, in it, raw. I like all that. It's always nice just to hear people who have their, different type of lingo and styles and stuff that's different from, here in America. They're definitely different, but over there across the pond, they got some stuff. But anyway, to get into the movie, we start off with Dom. He is in the bathroom crying. He's in a public bathroom crying. He's on his phone, looking at something, what I assume to be his ex or maybe some girl that he liked. And he's looking at her story with some guy and he's just crying, boo-hooing in this dirty ass bathroom. Also, I should have clocked that this was not a movie in America because of how their bathroom stalls are set up. There is so much privacy. Have you seen, anyone who's not in America has seen an American public bathroom? There's gaps this big on each side. The gap at the bottom is so big. There's nothing private. When they said public, they mean public restrooms in America. So from there, I should have known this can't be in America. There's sealed, the doors are sealed. The thing at the bottom is really little. This can't be. But as he's crying, a girl comes in. Her name is Yaz. And again, it's just, a unisex public bathroom. So she comes in to just use the bathroom. And Dom is just excuse me, I thought this was the men's bathroom. And she's like, no, it's the everybody bathroom. It's unisex. And she's a little awkward, but I love it. There's something about awkward people that, I'm not going to get into it, but I love them. So she does her business. She goes pee, washes her hands, and she leaves. And I find out that they're in some museum about mouths. I'm not a huge fan of other people's mouths. I have mine to worry about. So I probably wouldn't go to a museum about different people's mouths and teeths and tongues and I wouldn't, but it's art. So then Dom comes out the bathroom. He sees what I think is his roommate. I forgot his name, I'm sorry, but his roommate, and they're talking and he's just like, did you see my ex's story? And they're together and they're happy. Why are they happy? Da 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 da. And his roommate's just like, well, I'm gonna show people around this museum. So Dom kind of scurries off and he's looking at all these pictures about mouths. And then Yaz comes up next to him and she notices his shoes. Forgot to mention, in the bathroom, she ducked down to see the shoes of the person and they had on pink Converse. So when they were out in the museum, she saw the Converse and was just like, hey, how y'all doing? How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So they're looking at the different pictures together of all the mouths and they're just, making light small talk about it. And then they both leave and turns out they're walking the same way to go do whatever they want to do. So as they're walking, they're just, chopping it up, talking to each other. He tells her that he wants to be an accountant. She tells him that she wants to be a costume fashion designer, which is really cool. Pretty niche, by the way. And, they're just going back and forth. She said that when she was little, she wanted to be Prince, the singer Prince, not a Prince, Prince. And as they keep walking, he gets more into why he was crying in the bathroom. And he's just like, yeah, Just broke up with my ex of 6 years 3 months ago.
The bit that really hurts, I thought we were fine. We were better than fun. We moved in together, but we had Hamilton tickets, stalls.
It's a serious commitment.
Right?
Turns out she was cheating, which sucks so much. I'm so sorry, Dom. That is awful. What's even worse is it was with his best friend. He was at the movies. They were supposed to go to a movie together. As he's ordering everything, she accidentally calls him and it's just like, oh, I know the previews are going to go, so I'll be there by the time the movie starts. Da, 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 da. He accidentally takes a screenshot of the phone and sees a thing in the back.
See what? Wait. Is that a dick?
Then he's just like, oh, I know whose thing that is. That's my best friend. So then Yaz is just like, oh, damn. What'd you do? And he created this picture just like, listen, I went in there, I kicked the door down, and I beat him up, obviously. But that's not what happened. He watched the movie and cried. And my baby Dom, that's so sad. So after he tells the story, he's just like, well, while we're walking in the same direction, I'm not going to run errands. I'm actually going to go meet them because they want to clear the air. Let's talk about it. I feel like a lot of people feel there is a need or requirement for closure. No. Sometimes you may never get closure, you know? And does that suck? Yes, depending on what the situation is. But I don't think closure is needed when ending a type of relationship. Again, does it suck that sometimes you don't get closure or you can't see why someone did something to you or understand why someone did something to you? Yes, that sucks. But if you're going for closure to get those answers, they're one, probably not going to be answers that you want to hear. And two, it's probably still not going to make you feel better. I don't think there's a lot of cases where people get closure and they're just like, ah, man, yes, now I can move on. It's not always like that. So I think the constant need of people being like, go get closure. You need closure. You don't need it. Sometimes people want it and they want to seek it out, but just know, just because you go to seek it out, that does not mean it's going to solve everything. I'm not trying to get on my soapbox, honestly, but it's the month of love. And I just want people to know that. Anyway, as he's going to meet them at a restaurant. So as he's going there, Yaz is just like, let me go with you. You shouldn't go alone. Like, you're so vulnerable. Da, 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 da. And he's just like, no offense, but girl, I just met you. And that would be a little awkward and weird. So they break off. He goes into the restaurant to meet them. And Yaz just like goes on her merry way. So he goes in there. He meets them. Again, his ex and his best friend are there together, all hugged up and stuff. She's just like, oh, Eric was so hungry. Eric is Dom's best friend. Sorry, I don't think I mentioned his name. She was just like, he was so hungry, so we started eating. And as soon as he opened his mouth, I knew Eric was annoying and almost insufferable.
My belly was rumbling, bro. People thought it was like a stampede of animals. I was like, no, it's my belly. I'm hungry.
Baby, chill.
This is coming from an admitted annoying person. I'm not going to say what I usually say, but I feel like I would not be able to take him long term. It's like, I can't. And they're basically like rubbing their love in Dom's face. It's just like, yeah, we went to Brazil and we've been doing all these things together. It's been so nice. And them, the cheaters and betrayers, want to move on. Excuse me? You're going to do me wrong. But you want to move on? You betray me, my trust, my love, my everything, but you want to move on. You don't want to see things that remind you of love and you want to move on. Oh, and Dom even asked, he's just like, why did you cheat on me? Like, what was the reason? I thought we were so happy. And she was just like, we weren't happy. We were growing apart and I just wanted something different. So again, while Dom is sitting there looking like he's about to throw up because they just keep, throwing their love in his face, Yaz comes in.
I was on a call with the New York office. I was like, I gotta go. And they were like, no. Anyway, you must be Gia.
She comes in, gives him a quick kiss on the cheek. She's just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm late. Da, 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 blah, 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 blah. And immediately, Dom's ex's name is Gia. Her face fell on the floor. she's just like, oh, who is this? And Yaz is just like, oh, well, we're not going to put labels on it, but we have so much like sexual energy and all this kind of stuff. So we're just kind of taking it, as it goes. But, the sex. And Gia, again, face on the floor. She couldn't pick it up fast enough. She was not happy with that, which again speaks volumes to her. She wanted to rub her cheating love in front of Dom's face. But the moment that he had somebody else, oh, it's a problem. I don't like her. So Gia is now all in. She's just like, how'd you guys meet? How did this happen? Da-da-da-da-da. And Yaz made this whole story about, oh, we were at karaoke and, we got signed up together somehow. And then we sung on stage and the whole house was brought down on some High School Musical stuff. And Gia was just like, you like karaoke now? And Dom's just like, hey, I guess you're right. Maybe some people do change. Also within that conversation, we find out, again, Eric is dumb and he's also jobless right now. So Yaz goes in on Gia. She's just like, you left Dom, this amazing, funny accountant, for this man who is jobless because he likes to pee in containers and keep them in a locker at work? Really, girl? And again, Gia's face stayed on the floor. I'm so happy that Yaz did that. Again, they just met. This is their first time meeting. They've known each other for maybe a couple hours, and she came for his rescue. That is so nice. There are good people out there in the world. Don't you forget. So they leave, and Dom is just like, I can't believe you did that. Thank you so much. Did you see how she looked? He was so happy, and it's so sweet.
I can't believe you just did that. Did you see Gia's face when we were tag team in the karaoke story? She was shook. Oh, I feel good.
So after that, he's just like, let me repay you. Let's go out to eat. Da-da-da-da-da. They went to this, I believe, this Mexican place because they got these burritos. Turns out Dom can't handle spicy food. So he's just like, hey, can I have something else? Please, dear God, can I have something else? But after that, they go on to Yaz talking about her ex because she also recently got out of a breakup. And he was just like, well, what was the sign for you that made you break up with your ex? And she said, he didn't wave at boats.
If people on a boat wave at you, you have to wave back. It's the law.
Tourism funds sex trafficking.
That's something I've never thought about, but honestly, little things like that, I could definitely understand if you don't do something like that. It's just like, there's something wrong with you. There's this actress, her name is Jennifer Lewis. I'm sure you all know about her, but I love her. I love her so much. I remember her telling the story, and I might get it wrong, so I'm so sorry, but she was saying how she was in a car, I think driving with her husband at the time, and she was looking at these trees, and there was this specific tree that I don't think blooms often, but when it does bloom, it's a beautiful thing. So she was just like, oh my God, this tree, it's beautiful, da-da-da-da-da. And he was just like, it's just a tree. Who cares about a tree? And at that moment, she was just like, you gotta go. It's little things like that where you're just like, you're angry about the simplicities of joy. Like something so small that brings someone joy, you're just gonna dismantle it. That's when you know something's wrong. And I'm sure we've all been through that. I'm not gonna go over any of my stories because it's a good day today, but it happens and it's weird. So I feel like once you pick up on stuff like that, you have to be like, I don't know if this is going to be a thing. Then Dom goes more into his ex and he was just like, I've tried to do different grand gestures. Like one time I rented out basically where we went on our first date, and it looks like it's just a burger joint, but it was only them there. And they had a little table with a little rose, and it was trying to be romantic, and she, I guess, didn't really like it that much. Yes, it's just that is my dream date, just nuggets, conversation. I would personally love that. And he was just like, well, I guess it wasn't enough for her, so I didn't really try a lot of grand gestures after that. He even tried to surprise her with chocolates in bed, but they were there too long and they melted, so it wasn't a good thing. He tried. He really did try. Maybe romance isn't his something that he's so good at, but he tried. He's just romantic in an awkward kind of way. And again, I love awkward people. So I guess it just wasn't for Gia. Also, throughout the movie, there's at least 2 instances where Yaz's phone keeps ringing, but she won't answer it for some reason. So I'm just suspicious. But they go to this bar where Dom is ordering drinks for them, and her phone rings again.
She doesn't work for me. Is it cool if I reschedule?
Yeah, actually, we were hoping to make a decision today. Sorry.
Okay, love you. See you later. Bye.
Turns out it's like some kind of fashion design place who's asking for an interview. And they're just like, can we push it back? And Yaz is just like, is it okay if we do it another day? And they're just like, no, we needed to do this today. Like, we're going to have our decision today. And then Yaz just hangs up. I assumed it was because like she was just hanging out with Dom and having a good time. So she didn't like want to, ruin the fun or anything. But also like, girl, like, this is your interview for something that you really, really want to do. But after that, Dom then asks Yaz, well, tell me more about your ex. I told you everything, so tell me. And she's like, oh, my ex, his name is Julian. And he's like this famous sculptor guy. Honestly, based on the clips, he's very pompous and like very mean to her.
Your breath.
That'll be the homemade hummus.
Listen, you know how my head gets when I've been working on something new. I will take some of that hummus on the crack.
I don't like it. He treats her like trash. I really don't like it. But Dom is just like, so then what happened? Like, tell me you broke up with him. Tell me something good happens. And then she said, I have this now golden rule.
If you make the hummus, you should get the head.
So then after that, she dumped him via hummus, figuratively and literally. Dom loves a breakup story. He's just like, girl, hell yeah, that's what you gotta do. I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be more bold like you. That's badass. And she's like, yes, I know. It's kind of crazy. I know. But she also talks about how she left one of her favorite vinyls at his house and she just never got it back. And Dom's just like, well, let's just go buy you one. And she's like, no, that one has sentimental value and I want that one back. So now she has a plan to go break into his house. She tries to get in with a key that she already has, but he changed the locks, so she couldn't get in. So then she goes over to her aunt's house because she's thinking, oh, maybe they'll have a key. They both go in and Dom isn't very welcomed in the house. Like all the family, it's kind of like a cookout they're having, and all the family is kind of looking at him like,
you in my seat.
And that was obviously a mistake.
Meanwhile, Yaz is upstairs and everywhere in the house kind of looking for the key. Dom is outside trying to fend for his life. And the poor guy. But Yaz couldn't find it, so she comes back outside where Dom's at. And then he goes inside to attempt to look for the key. Why did he do that when he has no idea what the key may look like? I don't know, but he did. And then he overhears Yaz talking about him to her aunts.
You guys are funny. I've known him for like a day. Anyway, the only reason we're hanging out is because I heard him crying and I felt sorry for him. That's it.
What?
Of course he reacted. So then they go upstairs, see him looking in an underwear drawer, and they're just like, what are you doing? Nasty.
See, I knew there was something off about you. You little pearl.
No, that is not what I was doing.
So then they leave and Dom confronts her about, what she said. And she's just like, well, like, I didn't really mean it like that, but I've been having such a good time with you. And maybe I just didn't want to seem that way to them, like right off the bat, because they still love my ex. Also I had an interview, but I declined it because I'm just having such a good time with you. Don't know what that had to do with it, but they share a little moment and it's cute.
Hey, listen, if I get your number, maybe we can chat again sometime, or...
Definitely.
So they continue to hang out, and again, they're trying to go get this vinyl, this record from Julian's house, and Dom is just like, oh, we can go to Mona at the karaoke spot. They might have a key that we can use. So they go to the karaoke spot. The karaoke spot is Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, by the way. I never mentioned that before. And they go with Mona, and they're just like, please give me the key. Please, we need to go in. And Mona's just like, only if you entertain me and sing a song. Mona picks a song for them, and then Yaz is just like, okay, me and Dom will do it. And they do it. At first, Yaz is scared because she's just like, no, I basically have stage fright. I don't want to do this. Let's just leave. And Dom starts doing the song himself. The song they do is Shoop by Salt and Pepper, by the way.
Honestly, Dom, this is crazy. Just fuck the keys, fuck the record. Jules can keep it. Let's just...
Don't worry, I got this.
So Dom starts it off, he's not doing good, but then Yaz comes in and she basically saves it, and they're doing the whole karaoke thing, and it's straight up off some High School Musical stuff. So they do really good, the crowd is cheering, just like she said they did in her story to Gia, it actually came to fruition, and it's just great. It's great, and they get the key. Also, before they leave, Yaz is so in the moment. She gives Dom their first kiss, and it's so cute. Oh, this movie is so cute. Anyway, they get the key, they get into the apartment, and they're kind of looking around to where the vinyl might be. As they're looking around, Yaz noticed that there's some like menstrual stuff just left out in the bathroom, and she gets upset about it. She got upset because when she was with Julian, he didn't let her keep out any pads, tampons, or anything else like that because it like he just didn't want to see it. But now I guess his new girlfriend, her stuff is all out. She had her menstrual cup out, which they call a moon cup, I think. And now she's just like, what changed? Was it just me? So she's getting all in her feelings while she's looking around. Julian and his girlfriend come home. So they hide but make noise so they kind of catch him. So Julian sees that it's Yaz, his ex, and he's just like, what are you doing here? Kind of like talking to her, but like talking down to her. Again, he treats her like trash. It's awful. But while he's doing that, Dom is in the background looking for the album. Dom finds the album and they're trying to leave with it as safely as they can because Julian wants to fight him. And then at the end, as they're trying to get out the door, Julian's just like, you know what? At first I felt bad that I broke up with you, but now I knew I made the right decision. And then Yaz is just like, uh-oh. And they like run out the door.
You know, I actually felt guilty about how it went down between us. But now, I know I made the right decision dumping your ass.
So as they run out, Dom is just like, wait, what's going on? Like, you said you broke up with him. Why did he say that? And I guess she just felt so bad because when they did break up, he kind of just left her, and she was like groveling a lot and, you know, walling away in her sadness, liking 5-year-old pictures of his now girlfriend and all this kind of stuff. And he presented her to be this like desperate stalker, and it was just too much for her. So she fabricated this whole story in order for her to like look cool, and Dom thought it was cool. So she's like, I'll just stick to that narrative. They argue a little bit because he's just like, you lied to me. There's no need to lie to me. You're just like my ex Gia. You guys are just like, I'm not like her because I didn't sleep with your best friend and all this kind of stuff. And they're just going at it, and then they go their separate ways because like it's just not it. When they separate, they're both still on each other's minds a lot. So in their own separate ways, they're doing all these different things. Like Dom is eating spicy food or trying to eat spicy food, and Yaz goes to actually buy her album that she left at her ex's house. So like, you know, they're still in each other's minds and just doing their things separately. Yaz becomes a fashion designer. So happy for her in between this time. Dom moves out of his parents' house to go to a different flat, so he's not going to be living with his parents anymore. Yaz keeps talking about Dom, but in a good way, just like, you know, I'm good with being single, but like this guy, da-da-da-da-da. And then she realizes like, maybe I'm not over him. And Dom keeps trying to do things that they've done together. Like they rode on a motorcycle before, or no, a little scooter moped thing, which he was terrified of. But then he tried to like ride one by himself to take lessons. Like it's so cute. After all that, we're at a new expo about butts, which I won't show any images of because I don't know if YouTube will be mad at me for showing butts. Dom is there because, again, it's his friend that is doing it. The same one who did the mouths, he's doing butts now. As he's looking around at all the different butts, Yaz actually calls him. He answers and he's just like, oh, hey, what's up? And it's actually like a friendly conversation. And she's just like, are you at that expo right now? And he's just like, yeah, why? And then she tells him to like go look outside, and he sees a boat. He waves at it. Turns out he's waving to her. She's so happy. She's like, I knew you were a person who waves at boats. Green flag. So we know that it's Yaz on the boat, and while she's there, she's just like, yeah, it's me. Come down here to meet me. And as he's like running down, they stay on the phone, and the whole time she's just like apologizing for everything that she said.
I didn't want to be sad anymore, and so I lied. And then you called me iconic, and I like that you saw me that way.
She also said that her being on the boat was her grand gesture to him. Like, he's always doing the grand gestures. She wanted him to have that moment, to have a grand gesture given to him. And my God, I love that. And then after she gets off the boat, he meets her like in some, I don't know, Union Square. I don't know. And, you know, they're face to face and they have a kiss. and it's so beautiful, and then the movie ends. Y'all, this movie was so cute. This movie came out in 2023, so it's like a newer-ish movie, and I am so happy that this was recommended to me. This movie was so cute. This movie got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Would I rate it that high? I don't think 98, a near perfect score. Again, I don't know what they put into the metrics and stuff, but I would say maybe the 80 range, 80 to 90 range. Still not bad, but maybe not an almost perfect score. It was short and sweet. It had the love aspect. It had some different things in there. There were some funny parts as well. So I did enjoy it. 98 just might be a little high, just a little bit. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed this movie. And with that, guys, that's the end of my video. Thank you again for tuning in this week to watch this recap / review that I was doing. If there's something in this video that you agree with, don't agree with, you want to see how good I did, or you have any more recommendations of what you would like me to watch next, please leave a comment down below. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. Tell everybody, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, farm animals, I don't know, snakes. Tell everybody that I'm posting every Thursday, and I will be back again next week. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Happy Black History Month, and I will see you again next week. Bye.